Right. So we left off. We did. I think we've done everything. So I'm gonna go start off with handy dandy homework questions, and I'll tell you if it's a good question or
Dumb question?
not dumb question, but a question that I will not use. I don't agree with. All right, that's 120. I think I can delete that one. I did 120 this morning, so I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to delete that one. That's 120, 109, 110, 109. I'm looking for 103s. Just give me a second. If you don't have any, that's a good thing. For some reason, my folders are not working. It's not sending it to my folders. I got to get that checked out. I don't see one. I don't see any 103s. Y'all don't have any questions?
The ones to the left, the math 103 questions, it says it has 5 in there.
Yeah, but they're all those stupid attendance questions. Those stupid attendance. Probably why it won't go in there, because those stupid attendance emails. You have missed a day. You need to contact your instructor. Stupid. Ask my. I wish I could do 109, but if I did 109, asking. Y'all see y'all's name on here anywhere? 109. That's 2 weeks ago. So I don't see. So we'll go straight to the test. So y'all, no questions means y'all understand the material. So let's pull up the test. My Labs Plus. And y'all are 103. And we'll go ahead, and this is what I do. I pull up the test. So we'll go ahead and do that so everybody can see it. And I'm recording, so that way nobody will ask me, when's test due? When's test due? So we're going to the test. No, not create test. Pull up test. There's the Unit 1 test. Select Settings for Class. What's today? Today is the 24th. Oh, when is payday? Oh, good. Payday falls on the weekend. Hallelujah. I'm broke as Job's turkey from buying y'all donuts. Let's see. 24th, that'd be the 1st. And that's not supposed to be 12:30. That's supposed to be 11:59. 11:59 p.m. 8 a.m. Okay. 90 minutes. Save and assign. So,
would it really take us all the way up to that much time? Or do you just do that?
Yes, I do that. Take care of anybody that says the dog died or anything like that. Homework. Okay, which sections? Is it 1, 2, and 3?
5 and 6.
No, 5 and 6 in here. Thank you. 5 and 6. This is what I do with every test. After I assign the test, I pull up the homework. And I usually give y'all 1 day to ask questions, because I know there's somebody in here that hadn't done it. So that 1 day is going to be Wednesday, because I'm assigning the test when? Today. So that will be that. So I'm going to show you a trick I learned in the war. When you actually go to the main menu now, well, how do you go? Where is the?
You have a work email.
What? Hold on. Them Russians. Let's try it again. There. Now, where is y'all's calendar? When you pull up the calendar, where is the calendar? It doesn't come up. Assignments. There we go. And look at there. It shows, I don't worry about 3B. 5A, 5, it shows when it's due. Okay. 5A, 5C, 6A, 6B, 6C, and it also shows you when the test is due. How many times you got to take it. You don't have to take it that many times. And 90 minutes. So, click on the test. Now, why does it ask? Look at the information it shows you again. It shows you the test. It shows you how many questions are on the test. It shows you when it's due. It shows you how many attempts you have. And it says you have 90 minutes. And now it asks you, do you want to start? Why does it ask you if you want to start? Well, if you're sitting at home and there's 15 kids running around the house, the dog is chasing a cat, and there's thunder and lightning outside, should you take the test? No. Okay? Wait until everybody's in bed, the thunderstorm is gone, the Sharknado is gone, the flood is gone, the dog and cat's asleep, and you got a big glass of whatever. Okay? That's when you take the test. I have to tell you that because I have had people to take the test on the night of one of the biggest thunderstorms we've had, blah, blah, blah. The old thunderstorms, I have people texting me while the thunderstorm is going on, saying my test just quit, my computer just cut off. Start test. You got 29 questions. All right, somebody tell me what this one says. This is a test question. This is a good question. It says, consider the scatter plot to the right. There it is. State whether the diagram shows a positive correlation, a negative correlation, or no correlation. If there is a positive or negative correlation, is it strong or weak? Summarize any conclusions that can be drawn from this diagram. So, do we have a negative or a positive? Negative. Wow. Y'all are gifted and talented. Okay? There's a strong what? Negative. So what does this say about heavier cars and gas mileage? It's a miracle. Heavier cars generally get what? Lower gas mileage. Next question. The histogram in the figure shows times between eruptions of a geyser. Draw a smooth curve that captures its important features. Then classify the distribution according to the number of peaks, symmetry, or skewness and variation. So I'm going to take my handy dandy line maker and I'm going to that's what it looks like. So which one of these looks like that? I'm so impressed.
You should go ahead and give us all 100 on the test.
Somebody will fail it. Anybody want to bet me lunch? With refreshments. Okay? The distribution has two peaks, but I disagree with that because this one is not a peak. It's like a semi-peak. This is a peak. But
nice.
Is not symmetric and has moderate to large variation. That's what I would say. But sometimes these Philadelphia lawyers write these questions, and sometimes you have to read them 2 or 3 times. Next, assume that a set of test scores is normally distributed with a mean blah, blah, blah. When you see this, that means draw the curve. So draw it. Draw the curve. And use the empirical rule. Now I know y'all are not smart enough to spell the empirical rule because y'all are Y'all are in 103, so we're going to call it the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. The only book I've ever seen, I've been teaching probability statistics for 20 years. I've gone through 5 or 6 different books. The only book I've ever seen to call the empirical rule the 68, 95, 99.7 rule. Because the authors thought that you wouldn't understand the empirical rule. That was breakfast and lunch. But when you can buy 2 dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme and give it to the faculty downstairs, I did that Friday, and give your class 3 dozen cupcakes or 2 dozen cupcakes or whatever, and not eat them, that's when you're good.
That's selfish.
Oh me, now I did have a little bit of the red icing. I did have some of that. I had a little bit. But it only takes, on the keto diet, it takes about 3 months to get to that point. And once you get to that point, you don't go back.
So I'm not a big sweet guy.
I'm not
My
either.
weakness is going more.
Cheeseburgers and freaking fried chicken and, oh God, French fries. The French fries, the Ore-Ida French fries that you get in a big old bag, I could eat the whole daggum thing. French fries with ketchup, honey mustard, and mayonnaise. 3 different little dishes. Have you ever tried it?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. My dad
French fry sandwich is real good. You just got to know how to make it.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Yes, that's why that's the hardest part for me on the keto diet is potatoes and bread. Oh my gosh.
Not rice.
Oh gosh, lasagna. Oh my God. I mean noodles. Oh gosh. Me and my son would just sit down and eat a whole bowl of spaghetti noodles. And I couldn't understand why I was waking up and my back was hurting, my neck was hurting. That's why, because of all the carbs. All right, we're going to draw a picture. Whenever you see these words, you're going to draw a picture. Somewhere, somehow. 34, 34, 13.5, 13.5, 2.5, and 2.5. Who's going to go see Michael Myers on the 19th? Anybody?
Not me.
Don't have money.
I'm going. Dang old midnight. 135. What's 110 minus 25? 185? 195? Which one is it? What's 110 minus 25?
85.
It's 85. Sorry, 85? And 85 minus 25 is 60. And 135 plus 25 is 160. Okay, so that's what this right here means. Draw a picture and label it. Now, what does it ask for? The percentage of scores less than 110. Well, what's this on the fuel gauge? Which is 50%. So you would do 50. So I'll type in 50. The percentage of scores greater than 135. What is it? 16, one person. Thanks for the interaction. Everybody should have been saying 16. The percentage of scores between 60 and 135. Well, 34, 13.5. What's 68 plus 13.5? Dang old 81.5 or 71.5. What is it? 81.5. Thank you, class. Y'all suck. Next. When is the week of final exams?
B.
You think it's B?
It's definitely C.
Definitely C. I'm offended. I'm offended because my uncle's grandfather's sister's brother's aunt was in Pearl Harbor. Identify the sampling method as simple random sampling, systematic sampling, convenient sampling, or stratified sampling. A computer randomly selects 800 names from a list. 800 names from a list. That's what? Systematic. Those blah, 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 blah. I would say systematic. Because there's a pattern. The computer randomly selects 800.
Would that not be simple random? Because it did randomly select.
Simple random would be a group, I would think.
That'd be stratified.
We'll check it when we get through. I think it'd be random. I don't know. No sneezing, please. When is the last day of class for this semester?
See.
See, Judgment Day. I'm offended. You're making fun of God. What is a standard score? A z-score. Make sure you write that down. When you see standard score, that means a z-score. How do you find the z-score for the particular data value? Well, where is the x minus what? X bar. What is x minus x bar? That's the data value minus the mean over the what? So your answer is bravo. Okay? Choose the correct definition of a standard score below. A standard score is the distance between the data value and the nearest outlier. No. A standard score is a data value that lies within one standard deviation of the mean. No, because you have two. You have three. A standard score is the number of standard deviations of data value below the mean. That could be a possible answer. I would say C. Use the frequency table for the ages, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just do it right quick and let's see what it looks like. Y'all ready? Oh, they're going to do this. Well, let's see if it'll do it. I don't think it will, but let's see what the graph looks like.
Click it.
Oh, I did.
No.
Oh, down here. All right, so if I despise that button. Nope, I just want to pull it up and read it. Let's see, I don't think this will work. Nope, I didn't think it would. Just do that. Insert. Why is it?
That's fine.
No, that's not right. Delete. Let's try it again. They might be needing to do the midpoint. Insert. No, it's not. Let's do a regular bar chart. There, thank you. Anything having to do with a histogram usually is going to be screwed up anyway. All right, so straight up. So it's going to look, you got nothing, then you got up, up, down, down, like that. So we're looking almost like a what? A curve. So let's go back to the choices. All right, which one looks like a curve? I think D is in delta. Next. I think this is too easy. I think I need to go back and make it more difficult. Why does Hubert not entertain extra points, extra credit, and dropping any grades last weeks of the semester? Because I will take D as an answer, but that's not the correct answer. C, he awards me extra points for these type of questions on each unit test, and he drops the lowest 2 grades on each unit test. So if you think about it, I drop 2 times 4, I drop 8 test grades. If you take all the tests, I drop 8 test grades, and I also give you 30 to 40 points on a test, each test. So I don't do things at the end of the semester because of that. Scores on a psychology, blah, blah, blah. What does that mean? Well, this one you don't have to draw because they want to know the z-score. Mark that out and put z-score. 90% of the probability and statistic books I taught out of always call it a z-score. This is the first book that calls it a standard score. I guess y'all are too dumb to know what z-score means, so they had to change it to standard score. So what is it? 56 minus 51 is what? 5, Hubert. Thank you, one person. And 5 over 7, somebody round that to a hundredth, please. Y'all suck.
5 over 7?
0.71. Yeah.
0.71, that's it?
0.714.
Okay, 7-1. Thank you. Now notice it says round to the nearest hundredth. So that's why it's 0.71. Please read the directions. Me guys too. Please read the directions, guys. Please. Does Hubert replace your lowest test grade with the final exam grade? Y'all starting to see a pattern with these bonus questions? If you miss one, don't tell anybody. When does the homework terminate? When it's supposed to terminate, but I'm a softie, so I don't do it like this. When does the homework terminate? Toward the end of the unit material when Hubert sets the date in My Labs Plus during class. The reason I don't do it before, well, yeah, I changed it. But it used to say before the test. And the reason, oh my God, the reason I don't do that anymore is because how many dead grandmothers you think I have? Dead grandmothers, 5 flat tires, the dog ate my book, the house fell in, oh my God. So I just made it, I say, okay, set the date, you got till the first date that we come back after I set the date for the test. That gives everybody 2 or 3 days for the 5 dead grandmothers and the 5 flat tires and dog eating cat and all that stuff. I just get tired of it. All right, look at that one. A normal distribution of heights among women, blah, 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 blah. Give the z-score and approximate percentiles for a woman with each of the following heights. So they want you to draw this and then put it on the z-score table, and then the z-scores go with the percentages on the empirical rule, and they're going to ask, okay? Or they want you to look it up. Yep, okay, I'll show you how to do that. It's real easy. So, find the z-scores for each one of these. Find the z-scores. So it'll be 65.55 minus 61.8 divided by 2.5. That's one z-score. Then the second z-score is 59.3 minus 61.8. Then the third is 61.8. That'd be 0. That'd be 50%. C should be 50%. I did C for you. And D is 64.3 minus 61.8 divided by 2.5. Now, once you get those z-scores, you're going to look those z-scores up on that table, and it's going to tell you the percentage. But I'm going to show you a way. I'm going to go get some water right quick, and I'm going to show you a way that you can actually see it before you get the z-scores.
Okay.
It doesn't work out.
You remember the equation of x minus x bar divided by 3? You got it. Plug those numbers into the equation. Well, the first number is going to be 65.55. Then you're going to subtract it from the mean, then divide by that state equation. And then you don't do that for that second question, but that's it for now. Then you divide it by the mean. It just is a bunch of plug and chug. So I pretty much yeah, who's this for true? Why is there so much fire in mine? It's so like a car crash. Mine would be like, oh, well, guys, R.I.P. my hard drive. Thank you.
Finished?
Yes.
Now, if you use the empirical rule, and I'm just going to put it at the top. Somebody take your calculator, and 61.8 in the middle, add 2.5. What does that give you? Right here.
64.3.
I'm sorry, what?
64.3.
64.3, and what's the next one?
66.8.
And then go backwards. 61.8 minus 2.5.
59.3.
59.3, and then one more?
56.8.
56.8. And you can go put your numbers in there if you want to. 65.55. Well, 65 is going to be way up here. I'd say 65 is going to be right in there. Does everybody agree with me?
Yep.
Okay, what does it say? It says, for a woman with each of the following heights, the normal distribution, certain region, give the standard score. Okay, the standard score, we're going to find the standard score, but the percentile is going to be here. I would say, just using the empirical rule, 2.5, 13.5, 34, 34, and then I just say probably like, this is 13.5, I would say it's probably like 2, maybe, I don't know. So 34 and 34 is 68, that's 70, 76, or 86, 86%. I'm going to say, just using the empirical rule, that it's around 86% here. Okay? All right, what's the next one? 59.3, 16%. I'm using the empirical rule not only to check my work to see if it makes sense, but I'm also using it for practice on other problems. This is kind of like a 2 for 1. You get 2 problems for 1. What is 61.8? I told you that. 61.8 is what? Half. And then what's the last one? 64.3 is, this is 13.5. What's 16? Be 84%? And these are by the empirical rule. So I just practiced my empirical rule. And I'm also checking if this percentile comes up to be 104, then I know something's wrong because it's supposed to be around 86. If this one comes out to be 72, then I know something's wrong because it's supposed to be around 16. So let's do it. 65.55 minus 61.8 over 2.5. Somebody give it to me, and you got to give it to me to the hundredths. What is it?
1.5.
I'm sorry, what?
The z-score is 1.5.
1.5. So now we go over to 1.5. Here it is. 1.5 is how many percent?
93.3.
93.32. 93.32. Now remember, I did it by, guesstimating. So that's close enough for guesstimating. And this is 1.5. This is 0.5, and this should be 50%. And what is this one? This one is 59.3. So 59.3 minus 61.8 divided by 2.5. Somebody give me that to the hundredth.
-1.
-1 even. So -1 would give us -1. Where's -1?
Above.
Right here. 15.87. Oh my gosh, look at there. Around 16%. And the last one is 64.3 minus 61.8 over 2.5. Somebody give me that.
1.
1, positive 1.
Yes.
So that's going to be a 1, and gonna 1, and 1 is off the chart. So I got to move it.
Scroll down, just use that little scroll down.
Well, I was going. There we go. 1 is
You gotta scroll up with that little bar.
84.13. I'm so smart. 84.13. Look what I got. So it acts as a checker to make sure you know what you're doing. 84. I lost it. What was it? 84.13. So here I'm going to type in 1.5, and hopefully it won't blow up. 1.5 and 93.32. I don't know, it's probably going to want what's to the hundredth, which these are in, so I'm going to leave it at 93.32. -1 and 15.87. And 0.5, is that 0.5? The standard score is 0. Sorry, it's supposed to be 0 and 50. Standard score is 1 and 84.3.
So we don't need to do like 1.0, maybe 1.0.
Just 0.13.
84.13. I don't know. It all depends on what they want, but if you put in 1 and they say 1.0, then I'll give you the points because there is no difference between 1 and 1.0. So now 1.5, you have to put 1.5, but these you don't have to put. Okay, so that's that. Next question. If a student does not complete a homework assignment, this comes from a student saying at the end of the semester, after grade turn in, oh, I didn't know if I didn't do the homework, I'd get a bad grade. Yeah, the shiny nickel. If a student does not complete a homework assignment or test, what grade will be recorded for that assignment? We will give you an award. We'll give you an award, a trophy, because everybody gets a trophy. Heaven forbid somebody wanting to be the best. In your grade book, to find your final grade after you have completed all your assignments, which should you choose? If I want to find my grade for the whole semester, I don't know I don't know where do I get my grade? B, overall grade. These are all questions except for my military service and my phone number and email. All these other ones come from DA questions at the end of the semester, most of them. Scores on a quantitative portion of exam have a mean of blah, blah, blah. Assume the scores are normally distributed. What percentage of students take a qualitative exam? What are they using? Not the empirical rule, but what?
Z-score.
So you got to pull out the table again. All right, so find that z-score. 605, oh, excuse me, 605 minus 590. No, I'm the master of this universe. I can do what I want. Okay, minus, let's wait. Why do you think I've been teaching so long? All right, 605 minus 590 divided by 151. Somebody give me that and round it to the 100th place. No, wait a minute. No, yeah, the 100th place. What do you got?
0.099.
0.059, which is 0.10, right? So 0.10, positive 0.10. There it is. 53 point what? 53.98, which is 54. And you feel good about yourself. So you don't look like a Oompa Loompa and wear too much makeup. Orange face, white neck.
There was this woman this weekend that drove me crazy. She had her makeup like down to here. It didn't even cover her chin. And it was like super, super dark.
Where was this?
Super, super
At
white.
a,
Working at a gas station in Greenville.
oh man. Gotta watch him people.
Sounds super dope.
The scores on a psychology exam are normally distributed with me. What is the standard? Oh, this is too easy. I'm gonna have to give y'all some more difficult questions.
I don't look all that.
All right, 54 or 48 minus 54 over 7. What is the z-score? They just want the z-score. Round to the nearest hundredth. 48 minus 54 over 7.
0.86.
Be negative what?
Negative 0.86.
0.86. If you look at your overall grade one day and it has decreased from several days ago, this is from that same student that said, I didn't know. What has happened? C. I will take C for an answer, but the actual correct answer is A. This is the most missed question in my bonus questions. How is homework, quizzes, and test and exam weighed in Hubert's class? There's only one answer. Which one is it? A. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't know. Chasing wild women, I guess. All right. A score on a verbal section of certain graduate school entrance exam have a mean of 145 and a standard deviation of 8.1. Scores on the qualitative section have a mean of 148 and a standard deviation. Assume the scores are normally distributed. Suppose a graduate student requires that the applicant score is above the 90th percentile. What's the verbal qualitative score? Okay. All right, first of all, we got to address one thing at a time. The scores on a verbal, scores on the qualitative section, blah, 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 blah. So you got two sets of scores here, right? Am I not mistaken? Yeah. You got a verbal section, so verbal, and then you've got a quantitative section on the exam. Suppose a graduate school requires the applicant to score at or above 90th percentile on both exams. Okay. We haven't covered this problem, but we're going to cover it right now. First thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to draw a picture. When you do these problems like this, draw a picture. So I'm going to draw a picture here. And I'm going to draw a picture here. Now, The first one is verbal section. So I'm just going to do it and read it. Verbal. And verbal is going to be read. And the quantitative is going to be blue. Really, you don't even need these scores right now because we've got to find the 90th percentile. The 90th percentile on both, well, this is 50%, right? Everybody with me? This is what? 50 plus, that's 80, what's 34? That's 84%. 84% and half of 14 is what? 7? So 90 is where? Right in the middle? So this right here is 0.9000. That hatched in area. And over here, same thing. Blue is right in here. And all this area. Because it says 90th percentile for what? Last sentence, what does it say? 90th percentile on what? Both. So there's my 90 on both sides. Now I've got a mean. What's my mean on my red? 145 and 8.1. 145. And what's 145 plus 8.1? I'm sorry, what?
153.1.
153.1 and then add 8.1 again.
161.2.
161 point what?
2.
So I know somewhere, what's 151 to 153 to 161 is what? 8? Half of 8 is what? 4? So I think mine, this one is going to be around 157. That's my guess. Around 157. And on this one, let's do our blue. We haven't even done anything concrete yet. 148. What's 148 plus 8.3? Hang on, 156.3. And 156.3 plus 8.3 is 164.6. Somebody check me. What's 148 minus 8.3? 139.7. And 139.7 is 131.4. Y'all check me.
There you go.
So what's my guess up here? Let's see, 156 to 164 is 8, right? Half of 8 is 4, so this is going to be around what? 160? So my guess here is 160. But those are guesses. All right? So now we got to do the z-scores. So look at your table. Now this is, y'all haven't seen this before. Look at your table and find 90th percentile. Oh, there's one other thing you need to see. Somebody guess the z-score on the red and guess the z-score on the blue. Just guess it. What's the z-score on the red? 1.5? And what's the z-score on the right? Around 1.5. Everybody with me? That's a guess. So let's find 90 percentile. 90 percentile. Anybody see 90%? Let me move it over a little bit. Okay, what's closer to $90? $88.49 or $90.32? 90.32 is closer. All right. So that'd be 1.3. So our answer, our z-score on both here and here is 1.3. So 1.3 here and 1.3 here. Now, remember me giving you the formula for z-scores? There's two formulas pertaining to z-score formulas. One is z-score is equal to x minus x bar over what? Standard deviation. That's what I gave y'all. But the other one I didn't give you is a derivation of this, and it's called x is equal to Oz plus mu. And that's what you're going to be using right now. The O, the Oz, the little O with the pompadour on top, that's sigma, which is standard deviation. Z, this is population formula, it doesn't matter, because the reason I put Oz plus mu, it's easier for y'all to remember Oz plus mu than it is for me to tell you SD times Z plus X bar. See, Oz plus mu kind of is easier to remember. So that's your standard deviation, that's your z-score, and that's your mean. So let's figure it for the red. Somebody tell me what the red formula is going to look like. X is equal to, what's my standard deviation for the red?
8.1.
Yes, what? 8.1 times what? What's my z-score in red? 1.3. And what's my red average? 145. Somebody add all three of those up. Or multiply 1.3 times 8.1 and then plus 145. What do you get?
155.53.
155.53. What did I guesstimate? 155.53. So 156 is approximately the X that represents the 90th percentile. All right, somebody tell me what the blue formula will look like. The blue formula will be X is equal to, what's my standard deviation of blue? 8.3 times 1.3 plus what? 148. Somebody do that math for me and tell me what you get. 158.79 or what? 159. And what did I guesstimate? I guesstimated 160. Now what does it say do? It says round to the nearest what? Whole numbers. So 156 and 159. $156 and $159. Now I don't know which homework this is on, but if you want to send me some questions on these, I'll go over these Wednesday for y'all, because that way, if you've gone over these on homework yet, if you haven't, send them to me and I'll go over them again. And we can work on Wednesday just on this problem. There's nobody forcing you to take the test between now and Wednesday. If you don't feel comfortable taking it, if you see this question come up and say, I need to go over that question, send it to me. I'll go over it Wednesday. And therefore, everybody will be happy. Capiche? If you take several forms of a test in Hubert's class, how is it counted? I will take C as an answer, but that's not the correct answer. B is the only answer. Determine whether the following variable of qualitative is qualitative or quantitative. Quantitative, because somebody's salary, does 20,000 mean something different than 5,000? Yes. If the number means something, then it is quantitative. So somebody tell me which one it is. I'm not going to read all that. It confuses the hell out of me sometimes.
D.
It's qualitative. It's quantitative, so it's either A or D. Yeah, numerical. Thank you. What should a student do if something happens and they are out of class for a while, like a funeral, a high school event, or a wreck? Wait until after the grade turn in and then turn on the dead or the DAD syndrome, the dumb attitude syndrome. I'm trying. I know some of y'all are having heart attacks, but just bear with me. I still got 1 minute. All right. 36, 33, it starts up, goes down, goes down, goes down, goes down. So it looks like it's going down. Which one is going down? It's A or what? F. Which one is it? It's A because they're in order. That's just if you can read a bar graph. C, it's the only one that has a real phone number on it. That's the second most missed question. If you miss a question on a test and you believe it is correct, what should you do? Send several emails to Hubert with the last one saying, hello.
I would do B.
How about B? Yeah, call Hubert's office 5 or 6 times. That always works. If you have incomplete assignments and Hubert puts a 0 in the grade, what will that 0 do to your grade? That goes back to the DAD question.
I like C.
Okay, that's the only one that's worth anything. Okay, next. Decide whether the statement makes sense. The height of male basketball players of college are normally distributed with a mean of 6'3" and a standard deviation of 3. Does that make sense? Yes. Because 6'3", didn't we pull up the average height? What was it?
It was like 6'3", 6'4" for the.
Yeah. What if it said 5'2"?
For the Princeton.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right. No, not for 6, 7. So if it doesn't make any sense. Now, what if it said 6'3" with a standard deviation of 15 inches? No, that wouldn't work. So this one does make sense. And that's it. And then you hit, and this is the good part, y'all. Y'all hit what? Submit test. Oh, I got 3 wrong. So I made a 90. And you were right. It's simple random sample. Simple. So that was right. Simple. Let's see what else I got wrong. Probably rounding. Oh, I picked a shiny nickel. I got it wrong. I got one. I don't tell nobody. Scores. What did we put? 54. We might want to check that one. We'll check that one. Remind me to go over that one.
If we have a rounding error on the test, can you?
I'll take care of it. As long as the question is vague. If the question is not vague, then I'm gonna have to hold you to it. If it says round to the nearest 100, then
Yeah.
But if it's open, then I'll be open. All right, y'all get out of here. Have a good day. Work on the test. If you want to work on homework,